So having toured Old Town this morning and then taking an afternoon nap, I decided to visit a part of Tallinn that probably not a lot of people come and visit. I found my way down along a recreational area not too far from the port, and if I understand correctly, there's a boardwalk that goes along the sea up here, so I thought I would take my evening stroll and come down and enjoy what is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. There's a nice breeze. It'll cool down in the evening, I'm sure, but I'm going to enjoy this while I can. Like I've said several times, it's been such a hot, humid summer over here during my travels, and being in this cool weather sure is welcome. So I'm just going to walk along this boardwalk, see how far I can go. I think there's a Russian memorial up ahead, and then somewhere in the park there is the cottage of Peter the Great, the probably the most famous Russian leader or king in Russia's history. So he has a cottage here. I think we're about I don't know, probably 8 hours by car to St. Petersburg. And I really wish I would have gone to St. Petersburg, but I think you've got to get a visa while you're in the United States if you're a U.S. citizen. So that'll have to be another summer journey, maybe 2013. No sooner than did I get down to the waterfront than I see one of the large ferries sailing out of the port here in Tallinn, probably going to maybe Helsinki or Stockholm or St. Petersburg or some other destination on the sea here. And the ship, as it's passing out, it's going in front of a U.S. naval ship that I saw pull into the port last night. I don't know what type of naval ship it is. It's a rather small one, but maybe if I wait here momentarily, you'll see the naval ship right behind it. You can see the part of it right there. So there is the U.S. Navy. It looks like a Swedish flag on the back of that, I think. So I think that should be going to Stockholm. But there's your U.S. Navy ship in the port here in Tallinn. See the American flag up there on the stern. If I pan back out, you'll have a nice view of the sea here. It's rather calm today, but you can just pan around, and somewhere out there I believe is the memorial to the Russian soldiers. I'll go see if I can't find that. As I continue along the beach, there's another ship that is pulling out of the port here in Tallinn, and I was thinking as I was walking along the beach here, I don't know who's following all these videos, but I'd be curious to know who thinks I should spend a day and take the ferry over to Helsinki for a day and come back in the evening, or maybe rather just rent a car and tour some of the Estonian countryside. So anybody watching this want to weigh in on that, let me know. It's going to be Saturday if I go to Helsinki. So as my friend Edit in Genoa would tease me, here we are at the memorial that was built by Peter the Great and the Russian Tsar. And a local was just telling me that this is a memorial to a ship that wrecked off the coast here, and the woman is pointing, or the angel rather, is pointing in the direction that the ship wrecked. So it is a monument that was erected, and if I'm not mistaken, it was designed by a famous architect from Estonia. So here you have the Russian memorial in Estonia. A lot of these memorials in these countries, these former Soviet bloc countries, are pretty controversial because a lot of the countries that were taken over and occupied by the Soviet Union, they don't really like having memorials on their soil to Russia, and it's just a diplomatic catch-22, if you will, as far as wanting to remove the memorial or keep it on. But anyway, here is one that was built by Peter the Great. All right, having left the seaside, I'm now finding myself up to the palace. Apparently there is a palace that Peter the Great from Russia built for his wife, and there's a cottage there where he stayed while they were building the palace. So, or that's how it was told to me by a young girl that I saw as I was walking along. I also thought to mention one of the big things on this trip that has been just invaluable for me is this. So as I walk along, I've got my little GPS on my Samsung Galaxy tablet. And God, I wish I had this when I first started traveling like 10 years ago. But I can just follow the little blinking blue dot on the map as I walk along, or drive, or bike for that matter. But anyway, I'm going to get up here to the palace and then see that before going back and having a nice dinner somewhere in Old Town. And I might go check out some karaoke tonight. I don't think I'll sing, but anyway, maybe I'll bring you along. All right, here is the palace that was built by Peter the Great for his wife, and it is a stunning looking building here. The museum, it's a museum now. The museum is closed through the rest of the year for renovation, but his cottage is somewhere nearby here. I'm going to see if I can't find that. At the rear of the palace, there's this trellis with a lot of ivy growing on it, and then you come into the back of the palace, and you can see the grounds behind the palace. I bet there's at least one woman watching this that's a little bit envious that a guy would build her such a place as this. It really is something for me to be able to be walking through here. I recently saw a biography on Peter the Great, and he was great. He was a incredible man that if you're not familiar with the history of him, I would certainly recommend reading up on all that he did. So somewhere here is the cottage that he would stay in when this place was being built. Let's see if I can't find that. So I found my way to the cottage of Peter the Great, and it looks more like a home to me than a cottage. When I think cottage, I think Hansel and Gretel in the forest. But anyway, so this is the former cottage of Peter the Great, the Tsar of Russia. And if I'm not mistaken, I read up that inside the home they actually have the furniture that he had in here when he was staying here. So it's closed now, but maybe the next time I'm here I'll get a chance to see it. And coming out of the park, I came across this playground. If you're a parent here in Tallinn, Estonia, I had to think about that for a minute. You'll, I'm sure, appreciate this. This, you see that red dome in the back there? If I look at this picture, back in 1940, where the sand is now situated, is the used to be a swimming pool right here. So they took it from a swimming pool to a playground for children. And here's yet another beautiful spot in Tallinn, in this park. There's a large lake with a little island in the middle, and I see different birds. I see a swan, and people just relaxing on on the grass. I think I'm really fortunate to have had such a nice day here for this little walk around Tallinn.